Interlace your hands. Don't think about it, just interlace your hands. Everybody interlace your hands, don't think about it. Put your drink down, interlace your hand. Okay, and then look at your hands, they're interlaced, and there's one index finger that's nearer to you. There's one on top. It'll either be your left or your right. You've only got 2 hands. Anyone with 3 hands, we can have a word afterwards. So, and how many have got their left hand that's at the top? How many lefties? How many right? Oh, a little more right down here. It depends who comes to see the show. Some in London, they're a bit left, here you're a bit right. So we'll see what they're like in Switzerland, I have no idea. Okay, so whichever finger you've got on top, if it was your left, now interlace your fingers so the other finger is on top. So you're doing what the other half of the room are doing. So for this is completely normal for half of you and abnormal for the other half. And doesn't it feel weird? Does it feel like you're interlacing your hands with somebody else? So it's very strange that this habitual pattern is in our system. Yeah, the same way we walk, the same way we move. And it's a very clear indication of how little we know about ourselves. And maybe we could learn more about how to organize ourselves differently so these things don't feel strange. In fact, it would be great to have that kind of awareness throughout your entire body.
Oh, yeah, that's why I'm famous, because of this hand, actually. It was the infamous hand injury. So, like 5 years ago, I decided to take up roller derby. When my mild-mannered self decided to go become a fighting girl, and then I already knew how to roller skate, and I met a bunch of girls who knew how to fight. We were practicing, and I was in the 4th position, which is the back of the pack. So I was on roller skates, chasing a bunch of girls and trying to knock them over, and they all fell in front of me. And instead of falling, I had nowhere to go, so I decided to launch myself over the pile of fallen girls and landed down on the other side on my hand, on my one hand, on my right hand. And when you look at your hand, usually your middle finger is the longest, so that's the finger that took pretty much my whole body weight, which at that time was probably 140-something pounds, and I had a wrist guard on, and the hand bent backwards over my wrist guard, and my middle finger broke. Shattered. And then little shards of bone pushed back up into my joint finger. My finger was pointing in a really funky direction. Was sideways and just hanging off my hand. And then I went and started passing out. And they said at the hospital, "This is really bad." You had to have surgery, and then that was the beginning of about 8 months of torturous stuff. They had to give me a cadaver bone to fill in because I had no bone left in my finger, so my middle finger has somebody else's bone in it. And then I had 6 months of therapy to try to move my finger. It's my middle finger, and it was stuck up. So I couldn't bend it. I could bend all my other fingers, but that from the surgery was stuck up. So if I tried to make a fist, I'd walk around with my middle finger up So I was going into, at the time I was going into schools with my book and teaching kids about how to make a book. And here I am, like, holding the book up, giving the kids basically saying, fuck you.